The SciCraft Blitz challenge has been finished and the world is finally available for everyone to download and explore. In this video I wanna guide you through the world a little bit and briefly check out all the things that we built in this 1 month. At the end there will also be a section where I show you how to download the world yourself, so let's jump right into it. Once you load the world you will end up at the spawn island here that we also spawned in, and there's a portal right here that you can enter to get to the nether. And here you can already see some lines of carpet and pressure plates which will show you all the different things that we built. All the lines end up here at the storage system, so once you are here you will be easily able to check out all the different things we built. They are also indicated by signs, so it's very easy to follow. So let's start all the way at the left here with the Magma cube farm. This one ends up at one of our huge portal blocks, and to run it you just want to place one player all the way at the top here. And if we go through the small portal here now, we can check out the overworld side, which is a little further away, but the obsidian arrow indicates where we need to go. And there we can already see it. A huge amount of magma cubes coming in, dying inside of the powdered snow and the wither roses on top of the soul sand here. The collection system needs to be activated with this lever here that will send off all the hopper minecarts which collect all the items. Here we can also directly continue to the ghast farm by following the carpet here, and that's one more of our portal cubes. Again we need a player up here. Here we can see the ghasts arriving in the overworld and suffocating to death. Items get collected by water streams and again collected in this storage system here. Back at the storage, let's continue with the tree farm, the TNT district and the furnace array. This one will split up here once. One of them continues to the tree farm, which should also be the blast chamber area. Here we have Oreo's tree farm that he built. I don't remember whose design it was. I think Fallen Breath. And right next to it we have the blast chamber area. The tree farm can produce oak, spruce, birch, jungle and also acacia. And at the blast chamber area we can produce everything from stripped logs to cobblestone, basalt and also mushroom blocks. We did also add a stone to dirt converter here, which allows us to also get dirt from the blast chamber area. This is basically a 2x2 spruce tree farm which converts stone to moss and then to podzol. Back at the nether we also want to check out the other branch here, which leads us to this beautiful portal. And on the other side of this we have our furnace array. Here we have the input that you want to smelt, the output, and we also have the fuel here. Continuing with the birch line in the back here, this will lead us to our geodes. Here we have this portal in the ocean, and underground we have our spot with the high amount of geodes, and we also have a few set up to farm. So we have this one here, which was the first one I think. Mango made that. And in this direction there's also the contest one. So we have some self-returning flying machines that break the amethyst and that gets collected by water streams. Back in the nether, if we follow the spruce line now, we will end up at our Nether Mob Switch. So that's this glass box. We have about 1,000 chulkers in there. They all get loaded with this chunk loader, so this is also the switch to turn the chunk loader on and off, and therefore turn the mob switch on and off. Back in the storage we have our bartering setup with the warped line here and our flower farm for all the different dyes with the crimson one here. And here we are at the bartering setup. That's quite far away. Here we have our piglins and the huge item sorters for all the different items that you get from here. Following the crimson line we end up at this portal here, and here we have our flower farm setup. So we have multiple farms, mostly for one flower type each, and the items all get collected in the central storage here. In here we also have our bone meal supply that also gets distributed over all the different farms. Back at the storage, let's now continue with the copper farm. This leads us to this zombie reinforcement setup that Kdender designed. So in here we have all the different cells that would be filled with zombies once it's running, and the snow golems damaging them, and therefore they would spawn reinforcements in those wings here. All the zombies get converted to drones as well, so they spawn more new zombies and also they can drop copper. Next up we have our Netherwat Farm. Here we have a huge field of nether warts and minecart tracks in between, so the player could AFK here and break and place the nether wart. Now let's check out the wool farm. Here we have a very colorful storage for all the different types of wool, and we also have sheep modules for each color. So we have black all the way to gray here. They are also all split up in the middle here, so we get the double amount of different colors. Next up we have the kelp farm. We have some kelp growth cells here. And in there we also have flying machines that would harvest them. And there they go. They break all the kelp, the items swim up and then get collected with water streams. Here we can continue right away with the white line towards our spawn. And yep, here's where it all started. We spawned somewhere around here. This cave, I still remember that. Then we built our first iron farm here. That was built by Alan. And Oreo also built a small cobblestone generator here that supplied us with enough cobblestone for the first few days. We also converted the whole island to moss, and we also converted sand to smooth sandstone, so no passive mobs could spawn here. Back at the storage, next up we have the mushroom island where everything really started to get going. Here we have our first storage, if you want to call it like that. The chests have been removed by now. Then we have our first real storage with the multi-item sorters. Those have been emptied and brought over to the new storage system. Of course, we also have our villager trading area here with all the enchanted books you can get, and also all the armor pieces with really good enchantments. We also have a small glowberry farm. We have a villager breeder here to get all the good villagers. We used this setup here. And we also have a small food farm down here for potatoes, carrots, beetroot and also wheat. That was all stored here in these chests. We also have a small pen with turtles here that would lay eggs, and we also got some scoots from there. And also turtle eggs, of course. Apparently this was also used as a wooden bowl farm. So with the trident and this lightning rod here, you could cause a lightning strike, which would kill the turtles and they would drop a wooden bowl. Of course, we also have our gigantic cactus farm here that we built within 1 or 2 days, I think. That was super crazy. And that supplies our huge furnace array that we use for XP. There's also our slime farm here, which was also a very sick project. People dug the whole chunk within the first day and already started building the slime farm. By now we have a Y0 slime farm where we broke some bedrock and the slimes would get lured to the iron golems on the sides, killed by magma blocks, and then the items get transported up. We also had plans for a mushroom cow farm here that has never actually been built, but next to it we also have our first powder snow setup with the cauldrons and the chamber for the player, which was very slow, but it supplied us with the first powdered snow that we needed. I also remember this drowned city here where I killed one drowned with a trident and immediately got my first trident. That was very lucky. Here we also have a small nano cocoa bean farm. I can tell that this was built last minute without a lot of effort probably, since this storage system with the shulker boxes of bone meal is not very nice. Could have been made by me, to be honest. And next to it we also have our blast chamber here that we use to convert concrete powder into concrete and also deep slate into cobbled deep slate the first days. We also have our second furnace array here, technically the third, with 4 wings of furnaces that will all run with hopper speed, so in total it was 4 times hopper speed furnace array. We also have a small fungi farm here, so we can switch between warped and crimson nylium here to get both the fungi and also all the other plants that drop. Of course, we also have a small lava farm here that was built by Mango, as far as I know. It's the same one on Peaceful, and yeah, we used this to get some buckets of lava in case we needed them. Oreo also built this sea pickle farm here out of crafting tables, which would get us more sea pickles than we could ever need. Of course, we also have all these small farms here. We have a pumpkin and melon farm that has been overflowing since day 4 or so. Then we have our dripstone farm here. We have glowberry farm, a weeping vines farm, a twisting vines farm, a kelp farm, then a bamboo farm, and also a small chicken farm for eggs. At the storage here we can also very nicely see the progress that we made. This was the island on day 2 or 3, and this is it on day 10 or so, I think. We also have some small gadgets here. Here we have a block crafter, so you would put in shulker boxes of nuggets or ingots or whatever items you want to craft into blocks in those top chests, and it would empty them, and you could stand here and craft them into blocks with this crafting table. There's also a shulker filler manual one right here, so it's easier to fill all the items that you crafted into shulker boxes. Right next to it we also have a small pumpkin carver where you could convert normal pumpkins into carved pumpkins. So that's it with our main islands. I definitely will keep a lot of good memories from this. Back at the storage though, we have our mob farm, our trident farm, and our shulker farm, which is also our mob switch. And also our moss farm is close by. First up, the mob farm. This is a general mob farm with a very interesting shifting floor design where the floor goes up and down in weird ways. All the mobs would end up falling down on top of this magma block field here at some point though, and the items would get collected by minecarts below here. The trident farm here has been built in a river biome to get the most drowned spawns, and the drowns would get transported up this water pillar in the middle, and at the top here the player could AFK here and kill the drowns. These would drop tridents and technically also copper and nautilus shells. Next up we have the shulker farm, which was one of the craziest projects in my opinion, as we finished this on day 2 I think. We have the chamber here where the shulker would be in the middle, that one that gets duplicated, and the shulkers get teleported into the nether. Right next to it we also have our overworld mob switch with about 1,000 shulkers, a little bit less. We got those here by connecting the system here right into the mob switch, so we could easily fill it up. In the nether, up here we have the killing system for the shulkers. Those would get picked up by minecarts and thrown into the powdered snow here. And down here we also have the separate chunk loader for the mob switch. Next up we have our hero of the village farm and our raid farm. The hero of the village farm here has been mainly used to get clay. It can also be used to get redstone and lapis and all of that stuff. This was also built right on top of a pillager outpost down there to get enough pillagers to run this farm. We also have a small villager breeder right next to it to get all the villagers here that we needed. Next up is the raid farm. That's also one of the most impressive projects in my opinion, since we also finished that on day 2 I think. And yeah, that's the design by Kronos. I've seen a lot of new designs pop up lately, and I gotta say there are a lot of very new, very interesting raid farm designs that are also partially really easy to build. So I really like the development in this area. Yeah, we have our huge storage for redstone, emeralds, and all the stuff you get from the raid farm. And next we will check out our perimeter and our powdered snow farm. Here we have the perimeter that has been flooded to stop all the mob spawning. In the middle here we have the portal guardian farm with the waterlogged stairs. That one is optimized for single mob cap use. And right next to it we also have a passive mob farm here. And for this one we even had to expand the perimeter here a little bit. So all the grass and other blocks that passive mobs could spawn on have been removed, so we could also run a passive mob farm in this perimeter. Of course, in the nether we also have a killing area for the passive mob farm over here, and also the guardian farm here. And here we have the big powdered snow farm. So we'd have an AFK player below the cauldrons in a minecart, going all around all the time, right clicking all the cauldrons, and once one was full it would get emptied. And right next to it here we also have our snowball farm. We can quickly turn this on here, so it was definitely fast enough for our needs of snow. Let's turn this off again as well. There we go. We didn't even add a storage for the snowball farm since it was faster than anyone needed snow anyways. Next up we have our old gold farm, our wither skeleton farm, our wither killer, and also our quarry. So here we can already see the old gold farm. That is Gnembon's design. Ragu built that on day 2 I think. We also have storage down here. We mainly cared about the golden nuggets and the ingots. Right next to it here we also have our wither skeleton farm. We have spawning platforms covered with wither roses, so only wither skeletons can spawn. There you can already see how many there are spawning. They all walk towards the piglins in the middle, and then they drop down, get collected, and would end up in the middle here. To turn it on, I believe you have to flick this lever here. And then, yeah, there they go. The wither skeletons all get funneled in the middle here. They even entity cram partially. And right above the Wither Skeleton farm, we also have the Wither Killer that Skyrising built. So you would AFK here, place soul sand, and it would assemble the withers, place the skulls with dispensers, and then the withers would suffocate inside of the bedrock. Very close to it we also have the Quarry. There you can already see a huge chunk of the world missing. All the way at the end of this hole there is the Quarry. This is Voiding's design. This is his variable timing quarry. That's a really neat design. Also a completely different design than the ones before. The items would also get automatically collected and transported all the way back to the storage system that we had here. We just had mixed shulker box fillers, so all the items would end up in here. Next up we have our Dragon Egg Duper and our Ice Farm. The Dragon Egg Duper is fairly similar to a normal gravity block duper, and it would just throw the dragon eggs around so they would still stay here but also end up in the end. The Ice Farm is a little more interesting. That is a design by Kdender. The player would AFK in a water stream in here and get flushed around, breaking all the ice. Then the water would flow down there again and also the ice would regenerate. We're almost at the end. We have the gold farm and the iron farm here left. The new gold farm is this portal cube here. The zombie pigmen would spawn right inside of the portals and get sent to the overworld. And here in the overworld we'd have a killing system for that. Then we also have a rather large sized storage for all the iron nuggets, and since we also needed to craft those into blocks and ingots, we added this crafting system here that is fairly similar to the one on the main island. And here we are at the iron farm. This design is by Methods. He calls it the Iron Pizza. I will probably also soon post a tutorial to this. This one is also chunk loaded, and in the overworld of course we have a killing system for all the iron golems. They would just drop down here, burn in the lava, and we also have a shulker filler down here. One more thing that I noticed was missing is that if you continue from the main island in this direction, we have the Netherwat Farm, and further in this direction we also have our second gold farm, I think. We also use this one for XP a lot. This is just a overworld portal pigment farm. Back at the storage we also have a small honey farm here with some bees. And at the end of this candle trail we also have a better sized honey farm and also a honeycomb farm. Last but not least, of course, we also have our new storage and our gravity duper in there. So first up, huge props to Glotz and all the people that helped him for this storage system. They spent a lot of time on this. We have 2 wings for normal item sorters, all the colored blocks, some wood blocks in the back there, all the redstone here, some other blocks, building blocks, stone, all that kind of stuff. At the end we have some random items, mob drops. In this wing we have our bulk storage, where everything gets stored in shulker boxes. Here we have all the items that we have a bunch of. In the last wing we have our non-stackable item sorters. We have potions, we have flint and steel, minecarts, all that stuff. Here we also have a small multi-item sorters for all the deep slate ores, for example, since we know that we have a lot of different items of those, but not a huge amount of them. We also have a small brewing system here. We have a furnace array here. We also have Mango Sweat Dreams here. This bed belongs here. We have my dogs here, Dog M77 and also Dog Champ. Skyrising also added a small anvil damaging system here, and in the end of this hall we have a crafting system. You'd add all the different recipes in these chests, then stand here and it would supply you with the items that you entered. In the center of it we have our input here. We also have the output of the stuff that didn't get sorted. We have the empty shulker boxes here in case you need any, and we also have some basic supplies here with rockets, ender pearls, food and all that stuff you could need. And in the center here we also have a small drop chute for the end here. If you stand here and click this node block, it would drop you down straight into the end. We also dropped through our concrete and sand duper, but the items would end up here in the end anyways, and here we also have the concrete factory. So the concrete blocks would fall down here and get shot around a little bit. Here we also have the converter and then the blast chamber to blow up the concrete that has been generated. Those items get collected and then eventually stored in this storage system that we have. And of course, on this pathway here, we also have our Ender Mini, the first real XP farm that we had. On the end island itself, you can still see some leftover stuff from Oreo's flooding to spawn-proof the end island. Mango at some point removed that again. So this is our end stone farm. On one of the outer islands, we also have a small wither rose farm. I don't know how to get there though, so you need to trust me on this one. Back through the end portal. This project definitely was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people playing actively. We had a lot of people watching on Twitch. I really like that you guys enjoyed this project so much. We definitely also enjoyed it a lot, and we will probably do something like this again in the future. Let's now quickly also get to how you can explore the world yourself though. To do so yourself, head over to download.scicraft.net, the link is also in the description, and then you'll end up at this beautiful downloads page that Skyrising made. If you're a Windows user, you probably just want to download the zip one, so click on this button. If you're a Linux user, you probably know better than me anyways. And here you can also see that the world will be at the size of 6 GB almost once you uncompress it. Once you've downloaded it, you will find this file in your downloads folder, and obviously you need to move this in your Minecraft folder first. You probably know how to do this anyways, but you need to type this into your Windows search bar, hit enter, and then you need to navigate through your .minecraft folder into your saves folder, and this is the folder where you need to move the world to. Once you've got this .zip file inside of your saves folder, right click, extract all, and hit extract. Once it's finished extracting all the files, you will have a Blitz folder in here. Double click it, there's a world folder inside. You can rename this to whatever you want. I'll call it Blitz World. And this folder you need to drag back into your saves folder, and you're ready to start Minecraft. After launching the world, you will end up at the same spawn island that we spawned at. And in order to be able to use creative, you just wanna hit open to LAN in the escape menu. Allow cheats on, start LAN, and then you're able to change your game mode. So I hope that you also enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.